The MKUltra project was a concealed project attached to the Department of Defense of the United States, jointly with the CIA. Its objective was to test the behavioral and toxicological effects of certain substances on animals and humans. According to investigative journalist Gordon Thomas, this project was initiated by Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, Chief of the Technical Services of the CIA, to explore the world of black magic and control the forces of darkness. Behavior research was transferred from Sidney Gottlieb and his Technical Support Division to the Research and Development Office. Dr. Stephen Aldrich assumed the role of leader and continued to investigate ways to control human behavior until 1979. The creation of a civil society was not out of reach. Aldrich has inaugurated Operation Often that incorporated the occult and demonology. The psychiatrists and the behaviorists explored the world of black and supernatural magic. Agents spread throughout the country in search of fortune tellers, hand readers, mediums and seers. The agents were presented as researchers from the Institute of Scientific Engineering. Aldrich was Dean of Occult and Parapsychological Studies that awarded the most lucrative research funds of the agency to the University of Pennsylvania to study the effects of 16 new biochemical warfare agents in humans. These included products that caused suffocation, blistering, vomiting, toxins, toxic gas and disabling chemicals. They have looked for ways to use the paranormal in espionage and counterintelligence. Along with the military services, the officials of the agency wanted to know if mediums could predict the future, or influence the movement of physical objects, or even in the human mind, and if they could read the mind, could they potentially control it? In 1968, they established a joint program, called Project Often, with the Army Chemical Corps in Edgewood, Maryland, to study the effects of various drugs on animals and humans. The Army has helped the agency to create a computerized database for the detection of drugs, and provided military volunteers for some of the experiments. In 1971, 3 astrologers were on the payroll, whose specific task was to predict the future. In 1972, 2 hand readers had been hired to investigate how hand reading could be developed for intelligence work. The investigation was carried out in black magic. The Scientific Engineering Institute has funded a witchcraft course at the University of South Carolina. The CIA scientists carefully studied the results of the classes devoted to fertility rites and the resurrection of the dead. Simultaneously, research on the technology of brain implants intensified. The tests were abruptly interrupted in 1972, when the prison's medical laboratory was destroyed by fire. In 1940, Winston Churchill spoke of a world darker and sinister, in reference to perverted science. He was referring to the Nazis, but his comments also applied to the CIA's mind control experiments, which subjected a multitude of mentally unsettled subjects, such as psychotropic medications, sensory deprivation, and electrode implants, in the search for a magic formula to win the control the mind. So, do you really believe that they would have stopped these kind of tests? And if they did discover ways to control the mind, would they actually admit it, or keep it hidden and use it for control? Leave your comment below, and remember to like this video, and subscribe for more content like this in the future.